college student myself, starting off in the Fish and Wildlife program at Sioux College and transferring into my HBEM, which is my Honors Bachelor's of Environmental Management here at Lakehead. Graduated in 2019, and since then I've worked in the field a little bit, but now I work for Lakehead as a recruitment officer. So I'm really excited to be here today to talk to you not only about college transfer, but my personal experience as well. So thanks, Taylor.
Thanks so much, Abby. And yeah, I think that's so important. We've got a real live college transfer student here from a college to Lakehead, and she will be monitoring that Q&A function. So please keep her busy in the background answering your questions. So to get started, let's talk a little bit about why Lakehead and what it will be like to be a future Thunderwolf when you come to Lakehead. So at Lakehead, we really encourage you to pursue your passion, but also to step out from the crowd. And what we mean by that is pursue something that you're good at or something that interests you or inspires you. And we have many exceptional stories of what our grads are doing. And not everyone's results are going to be the same, but we know at Lakehead, this is a place where you can really explore your interests and dig deep into your passions. Lakehead grads often cite how our small class sizes really help them as they go through university, having the opportunity to get to know their professors, to get to know who they're sitting beside in class, and having lots of opportunity to engage with the material is all super beneficial to their overall education. Another really awesome thing about Lakehead that we'll touch on in a little bit is we are #1 in Ontario for scholarships. We actually give away over $11 million in scholarships and bursaries every year, which means there is likely money available for you when you come to Lakehead. Now, as most of you will already know, we are a 2-campus school. So we have a campus in Thunder Bay as well as in Aurelia. And here's a quick little geography lesson for you. But Thunder Bay is way up there and Aurelia is down closer to the GTA. So Aurelia itself is really only a 90-minute drive from downtown Toronto, whereas Thunder Bay is a 90-minute flight from Pearson in Toronto. It's serviced by a number of different commercial airlines. Air Canada, WestJet, Flair, and Porter all fly to Thunder Bay, and there are daily flights every day from Toronto. So I always like to think of it as whether you want to be a little closer to home or a little further away, we have something available for you. So let's take a little closer look at our campus in the beautiful city of Thunder Bay. So Thunder Bay is located on the north shore of Lake Superior, and it is the city cultural hub for Northern Ontario. So as much as you are going to get to experience some of the most beautiful outdoor landscapes and natural environment in Ontario, you're also not going to go without access to shopping centers, grocery stores, plowed roads, all of that good stuff, because ultimately Thunder Bay is a city. Now our campus, of course, is located in Thunder Bay, and we have about 7,000 students studying there. We have a ratio of 15 students to every 1 professor. So again, going back to that really small community feel there. Another really awesome thing about the campus is it's on its own dedicated parcel of land, which means when you're on the campus, you're really only encountering other people who are there on university business. So it's very safe and very community oriented. You can probably walk from one end of campus to the other in less than maybe 15 minutes. Probably you could do it in less than 8, depending on how fast of a walker you are, which is really nice because you're not going to be getting lost every day on your way to class. Now, if you like smaller campuses, our campus in Aurelia, you can probably walk from one end to the other in about 2 minutes. Aurelia is a young and growing city, and it's kind of the gateway to Muskoka Cottage country in Ontario. It's bordered by 2 lakes, Lake Couchiching and Lake Simcoe. So if you're a boater or a kayaker or just a person who likes to study with a good water view, Aurelia is the place to be. Our Aurelia campus has about 1,500 students and a ratio of 13 students to every one professor. And what you see in that aerial view, the 3 buildings, is the campus. So like I said, you can really walk from one end to the other in about 2 minutes, which is super awesome, particularly if you choose to live on campus. Say you have an 8 a.m. lecture, you can definitely get out of bed at 7:50 and still make it on time. This campus was built in 2006. So in the realm of universities, it is fairly new, and it's really, really nice to study in a newer building. One of the things Lakehead is very well known for is our student-centered philosophy. And we really try to set our students up to have the highest potential for success. And we're truly here to support you from your first day at Lakehead all the way through to graduation. And we offer a lot of comprehensive support for our students, things like academic tutoring, student accessibility, career counseling, things like resume building and writing, tons of employment fairs, financial planning, orientation, and much, much more. The Student Central is our main hub where you're going to find the majority of these resources. They deal with things like admissions, academic advising, and financial aid. Now you're going to hear me talk a lot about Student Central tonight, because they're going to be one of your main points of contact in the coming months as you look to pay your deposit, to register for courses, and all of that good stuff. Our Student Success Center takes care of things like co-op advising. They offer free group tutoring. So if you're concerned about classes in the upcoming year, or you're a person who really benefits from studying in a tutoring environment, this is a great place to come and visit. They also have our academic support zone and career advising. On the theme of student well-being, our Student Health and Wellness Center is available on both campuses and offers a ton of health services. So we have nurses and doctors on campus, counselors on campus, naturopathic doctors, chiropractors, and a lot of these medical professionals will offer same-day appointment or next-day appointment, which is really awesome because when you're not feeling well, we can hopefully get you feeling better quick and get you back to doing all of the fun things that there are available for Lakehead students. Another really awesome aspect of Lakehead is our strong international exchange program. International exchanges typically take place in your 3rd year. So if you're coming in as a transfer student and say you already know that you're starting in the beginning of 2nd year, in the beginning of 1st year, what have you, it's good practice to identify that you want to do an international exchange, and there'll be lots of information about that during your orientation. What's really cool about our international exchanges is that you keep paying domestic tuition to Lakehead. You're not paying international student university fees. So it's a really great way to travel and see the world while gaining course credit, which is super awesome. So that was a little information about some of the things Lakehead offers. Now let's kind of jump into the bulk of why we're all here, which is to talk about our next steps after we've applied to Lakehead. So a lot of us are kind of in that waiting game. You've applied to Lakehead, woohoo. Now what do, right? So I'm going to walk you through what to expect and what we need from you in the following slides. This is going to be a lot of information. So I would just want to say, please don't worry. You can use that Q&A function after tonight. If you still have questions, you can always reach out to recruit@lakeheadu.ca and we can keep having an ongoing conversation. Oftentimes for transfer students, there are some nuances in our cases. So please don't be afraid to reach out to recruitment directly, and we can talk about your unique situation. So where are we in the admissions process? So far you've applied, you've been admitted. What are your next steps? So step one is going to be to check your application status. So luckily you've applied. Maybe some of you have already heard back from us with some good news. Congratulations. Others of us might still be playing that waiting game. But to check the status of your application, you're going to go onto My Info. My Info is the online portal that we use at Lakehead, and we're going to be talking a lot about it tonight. All of our applicants to Lakehead should receive a My Info login to their email. If you haven't, please double check your spam folder, double check your historical emails, and try and find it. Applications at Lakehead are reviewed on an ongoing basis, meaning as soon as we get them, we try to look at them. Now, oftentimes, especially at this time of the year, it might not be happening as quickly as we're having a larger bulk of applications, but please know that there's no specific date that anyone is waiting to send you your admissions. So that's why you need to be checking in regularly on My Info to see the status of your application. Now, say you are not eligible for the program that you wanted to go to, Lakehead will automatically consider you for an alternative offer to another program, which is a really nice peace of mind thing. Right now, it's always best to make sure that you have all the prerequisites required for the program you've applied to. So check in with Student Central to ensure that we have all of that academic information that we need from you. And just a reminder, I think I said it at the beginning, but Student Central handles academic advising, financial aid, and admissions advising. So they're really your point of contact going forward. So we've included a nice little picture of what the My Info page looks like. So like I said, every Lakehead applicant will have received a login for this. And this will be your go-to link as you await your start at Lakehead. And you can review your application status here. So a little bit bigger for all of us who need classes at this time of night, but this is what the My Info landing page looks like. It has 3 phases, and right now we're going to be talking about that phase 1 pre-admission. So you can see where my arrow is pointing. That is where you're going to check your application status. And then below it, you can also view any outstanding documents that you might have. So this section will tell you to upload any of your outstanding documents if you're being requested to. A common outstanding document is an unofficial transcript from your previous institution, but please note we are only going to need you to upload that if it's being requested on My Info. You don't have to worry about that if no one's requested it from you. And you'll see a lot of documents in that outstanding document section that could be requested for you to upload. So things like English language proficiency, some program-specific forms, other forms that are a little bit more nuanced. And again, just note that they will show you everything in that section, but you're going to want to check what you're being asked for and only upload those documents that you've been asked for, which kind of makes sense in the grand scheme of things. So once your application is complete, then it's really that waiting game, which I know isn't fun for anyone, but don't worry, you will hear from us shortly. So during this time, keep an eye on your My Info, so that's your account here, your Lakehead email, and the email you applied to the Ontario University Application Center, or UYAC, for the admissions decision. And once you hear from us, you can accept your offer on the Ontario University Application Center. So that was step one. Now step two. Step two is when you have been admitted. So congrats on being admitted. The most important thing for you to do is to read through your offer letter and make plans to meet the conditions that are listed in that offer letter. So sometimes the conditions will be completing a certain course or sending in a certain document, things like that. And the offer letter will also often, not all the time, but often will include your transfer credit assessment. If you do not have a transfer credit assessment, it likely means that you were accepted before we had an opportunity to review your transcripts. So it will be coming. And I'll show you where to go to see all of that information. So to view your offer in phase 2 admissions, you'll go to My Info. You'll go under phase 2 and it'll be the first thing there. And then the next step is going to be to accept your offer. So you will accept your offer through the Ontario University Application Center. And again, the My Info tab will have a link to this. Once you've accepted your offer, you will be redirected to this OUAC or Ontario University site to the 105 tab. It'll look kind of something similar to this. This is a hypothetical student who's applied for anthropology. And then that student will accept on the Ontario University Application Center. Next, it's going to ask you to pay your confirmation deposit. Now, this confirmation deposit is very, very important. It is what allows you to keep your spot at Lakehead. So you will prepay an amount of your tuition that locks in your seat at Lakehead. And to do this as soon as you can, so you don't lose your spot, especially if you're in a program that typically fills up quickly. A good example of this might be nursing. The quicker you pay that deposit, the quicker we know the feeling is mutual and that you are coming to our school in September. And you can pay directly through My Info as well there, and you can use online banking for that. So step 5 is keep us informed. Let us know what's going on with you. So if you plan on completing summer school or night school or correspondence courses, make sure that you're submitting proof of enrollment as soon as possible. And note that all final grades for any in-progress courses are due by August 11, 2023. So those are the steps that you need to be taking in the next little bit once you've applied, been accepted, and then accepting your offer. So if you have any questions about those steps, please go ahead and take a second and put that into the Q&A chat, and Abby will get back to you as soon as possible. So next, we're going to talk about financing your education. So Lakehead truly believes in accessibility, both academically as an institution, but also financially for our students. We really believe in education equity, and helping you finance your education is a big part of that. So that's why at the beginning, when I kind of emphasized that we give away $11 million in scholarships and bursaries every year, that's why that's so important to us. Some of this $11 million is going to only be available to transfer students. So if you were kind of sitting back, not really paying attention before this, pay attention now, because you're going to want to hear how to get some free money. So we offer a transfer award, which is valued up to $1,000. And it's for students who are registered in full-time undergraduate studies, who are transferring from a community college, Bible college, or university, who haven't completed a degree yet, but they may have completed a diploma. And they must have maintained an overall average of 70% from the previous 2 terms as a full-time student. The next award is for transfer and mature students. And it's for students who are transferring to Lakehead from a college or university, or are coming to Lakehead with no previous post-secondary education, but are not coming directly from high school. We're going to ask that, again, you be enrolled in full-time undergraduate studies starting in September, and that you're going to demonstrate financial need. Now, for this scholarship, or rather this bursary, prior consideration is going to be given to students who have applied for OSAP or other provincial student aid programs. We're going to talk a little bit more about OSAP in the coming slides. So you might be thinking, okay, that's great, Taylor. I like to hear that free money is available, but how do I get it? So how do you get it? To apply to these entrance bursaries and awards, you're going to, again, go on to My Info. You might be sensing a theme here. And there's also ongoing current student financial aid listed in our My Awards. So the 2 bursaries I just talked about are for incoming students. We also have a ton of awards available to our current students. So you will get access to the My Awards portal on August 15th. And there will be scholarships, bursaries, awards that are due in the middle of October that you can apply to there. I always recommend checking the My Awards tab twice a year because scholarships will be made available for the fall, but there also will be a new crop of scholarships that are open and available for application for that spring, for the spring. So make sure you're checking it twice a year. You don't want to be leaving money on the table. A lot of scholarships, awards, and bursaries in Canada go unclaimed every year. And the reason I'm letting you know that is because sometimes we check ourselves out of the competition before we've even applied to something. In this case, scholarships, we decide, oh, there's not a good chance I'm going to get that, so we don't apply. But know that a lot of other students are thinking that, and sometimes you might be one of a few students who actually do apply to a scholarship. So the odds might be very good that you get it. So that's just my little encouragement. Apply to every scholarship that you can as time allows, because you never know when you might win one, or when someone wants to give you a big chunk of cash towards your education. So that's kind of a little bit about our financial aid available. Does anyone have any questions? If you do, please go ahead and post them into the Q&A, and Abby will be happy to get you an answer. And as time allows at the end, we'll try to answer some of these live. So the next thing we want to talk about is residence. So applying to residence. Residence is super exciting and a great place to live. And at Lakehead, we embrace the fact that a lot of us can't go home every weekend. So living in residence is oftentimes the best option for a lot of us. Now, what I love about residence is the statistics show that students who live in residence often fare better academically, just because of the proximity and the access they have to libraries, professors, classrooms, all of that good stuff. So if you're on the fence about living in residence as an upper year transfer student, just think of some of those factors as you're making that decision. Another thing that might help in your decision is knowing that we have upper year residence options, and options that are only available to upper year residents. We also have meal plans available. So if you don't want to be cooking while you're studying, that is a great option. And if you want to live minutes from your classes, residence is a great thing. For some of you who are in those summer residence programs or summer transition programs. Maybe you're there for engineering or for a one-year social work program. Note also that residence is available for you as well too. So on our Thunder Bay campus, we have a few different types of residence. The ones that upper year students typically look at are apartments and townhouses because they are specifically for upper year students, meaning that you would be living with other students in second year and above, and oftentimes other transfer students. So not those students who are coming directly from high school. So we have those dorm style residence halls as well. And what's really awesome about residence is you're really a 5-minute walk from everything, including the Agoria, which is really our heart of campus. On our Aurelia campus, we also offer residence on both Thunder Bay campus and Aurelia campus. You're guaranteed a single room as a resident student. In Aurelia, it kind of works in this way that you have a single room and a single room. And in between those two, you have a shared Jack and Jill bathroom. So you don't have a roommate, you have what we call a can mate, which is a kind of a nice way to get to know someone on campus without actually having to live with them. Lots of benefits to residents. With Aurelia, it's really about that proximity as well too. You're really a 2-minute walk to your classes, like I had mentioned earlier, and those meal plans will also be available. So you might be wondering, how do you apply to residence? Well, spoiler alert, you're going to log into My Info, again, that site that we were just on, for accepting your offer, applying for financial aid, all of that good stuff. And you're going to select residence services and apply for residence. As part of your application to residence, you're going to be asked to pay a $600 down payment, which is really important to note. Again, we kind of expanded it here, but you're going to see that in that phase 2 section, and there will be a link to apply to residence there. Now, some of us might be coming to residence with the car or planning on just commuting back and forth to classes. In that case, you are going to need a parking pass. So parking passes are expected to go on sale in August. Parking passes will vary in price depending on what parking lot you choose for which campus. In Thunder Bay, they're going to range you about $238 to $268. In Aurelia, it's going to range you about $200 to $328. So in August, again, keep an eye on that because when parking passes go on sale, especially for the Aurelia campus, you really want to jump on getting one. Our residence move-in date is going to be September 1st. So save that date. And that'll also allow you to take part in aspects of our orientation. Any questions about residence? I see Abby is very busily asking or answering those questions in the chat there. Abby, are there any questions that you'd like me to answer now?
Hey, Taylor. Yeah, so we're just getting a few questions in now. Great questions so far. So it says, can we buy a parking pass for the summer semester only? So yes, you can. You can buy it by semester, a daily pass. You can also do a monthly pass as well as a full year term. How do I get a parking pass for the summer term? So basically you'd be going on to our website and there, if you just type in lakeheadu.ca, top right-hand corner, there's going to be a search engine. You can just type in Lakehead parking pass, and they're going to bring you to a website where you can purchase your parking pass for either Aurelia or Thunder Bay, and you order it online, and then you actually pick it up at the security desk there. So yes, you can get a summer parking pass. Yeah. Other than that, like I have another 5 or so questions that I can kind of keep chugging along at. But other than that, great work, Taylor. So yeah, someone said I missed the date for when those awards open up, but I would just recommend keeping your eye kind of on our website and applying for anything that's open now, but also once you become a student and you accept your offer, then you also get opened up to a whole different other portal that has more scholarships and bursaries that are available. So just keeping your eye out constantly for scholarships, but also I had a question about a mature student transfer award. So yes, we do offer mature transfer student awards for people with degrees, but also OSAP does too. So they recognize that you are a mature student and you can get additional funding through them. If you don't want to take the loan portion, there are just grants that you can take. Yeah, other than that, I just have a few more questions to kind of get through, but I'll let you kind of continue on with your presentation, and then we can also open up the floor the very end.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Abby. And thank you everyone for those really awesome questions. I'm going to be quite honest. I can't remember off the top of my head when the My Awards portal opens up. So those are the current student scholarships and bursaries. But I do know near the end, we're going to have a slide of important dates. And I will let you know ahead of time so you can pull out your calendar or your phone and write those down so you don't miss them. But as Abby said, best place is always to keep an eye on the website and keep an eye on my info for the most up-to-date information. So so far, we've covered everything you need to know from now until June 1st. And now we're going to kind of move into those summer months, what you need to be doing in the summer months to prepare for your fall start at Lakehead. So course registration will start in June. And we'll kind of cover what you need to do for course registration, as well as what you need to be doing in July and August now. So as a transfer student, this is really important to understand your program requirements at Lakehead, because many of us will be coming in with transfer credits. So we need to be mindful of those as we're registering for courses. For most programs, with the exception of maybe nursing, engineering, and sometimes kinesiology, you will be completing 5 courses per semester. And at Lakehead, we use a full credit and a half credit system, which may differ from your previous institutions. So basically, this means that a course that is 1 semester long is worth a half credit, and a course that is September to April is worth a full credit. So to begin registering for courses, you're going to check the academic calendar for your specific program. And you might be thinking, Taylor, where do I find the academic calendar? And spoiler alert, you're going to learn all about registration on My Info. So on My Info, you're going to now be in that Phase 3 tab. And you can click the link under Phase 3 to learn how to register. And this is super helpful for any incoming students, but especially students who may be coming from a college where your registration was done for you, or for students who are mature students who might have not been in formal education for a little while. So that Phase 3, learn how to register, is where you're going to go. When you click this link, you can scroll down and find the section that's in the picture on your screen. And the sidebar will contain all the information you need to know on how to register for the semester. What I really love about this is if you're a person who likes a tutorial or likes kind of step-by-step instructions, we have a ton of videos available that walk you through exactly what you need to do. So hopefully there's no questions by the end of viewing those videos on what you need to be doing. And again, I shouldn't say no questions, because if you do have questions, our Student Central team would love to hear from you. And they do a really awesome job of supporting you through this as you register for courses. So under My Info, you're going to click this link under Phase 3 to view that academic calendar, so review important dates there. And in step three of phase 3 is to review your program requirements. So we're gonna delve into that a little bit more because it can be a little confusing. So this is an example of what an academic calendar will show you. It's going to show you how much credit each course is going to be. So you can see these ones are half credit courses with the exception of Principles of Economics, which is a full credit course. That's a good example of first year accounting. Another program, this would be Applied Life Sciences. You're going to see the courses you would need to be taking for that in first year. For first year criminology out of our Aurelia campus, you're going to see the courses you would need to be taking for that year, and that's all in the academic calendar. So your next steps after you check the academic calendar, after you learn how to register for courses, is registering for courses. So you will receive an email to your Lakehead email address telling you your registration date. This is a specific date when you need to log on to complete the registration. So the timetable for fall and winter semesters will be posted on June 1st. And that day, that's the day that registration will open for you. Sorry, the day that registration opens for you, you're going to get that date in the email. You will see a student tab appear on My Info. So right now, most of us will only have an applicant tab. When it's our day to register, we're going to then also have a student tab. And you're going to complete your course registration using the Build My Pre-Registration tool. That'll be on our website. And during the registration day, you're going to register for both fall and winter semesters. So you're going to kind of know what your course schedule is before the school year even begins, which is super helpful for maybe you're working part-time job or you have family obligations to kind of know when you're going to be in and out of class. So in phase 3, step 4, you can see that Build My Pre-Registration step. And that's going to be available in early June, like I said. So make sure you check that out when the time comes. Another really, really awesome tool that we have available for students is something called FastPass. FastPass is kind of a pre-orientation orientation, and it's going to be a very in-depth look at registration and how to do that. If you don't want to wait until FastPass, which the dates are available on our website for FastPass, you can do those video guided series that I kind of showed you briefly on My Info. They're also available under the Student Central website. So this page on our website is also available. It's on the My Lakehead website. And it's an awesome tool for any students. It's really easy to navigate. You can see all of those tabs at the bottom. They tell you exactly what information they're going to provide you with. And there's also that Ask Lakehead function that you can use. And that's a very quick way to get a response 24/7 if you don't want to email someone and wait to hear back, if you want an immediate quick answer. So to find this link, you would just click on the student tab of My Lakehead and scroll down on the Lakehead website, and it's going to be at the bottom there. So that is very briefly how to register for courses. Of course, those video tutorials and FastPass are really going to give you a step-by-step instructions, but the main thing that you need to know, the main takeaways are, as you might like to think of it, are you're going to be getting an email with your registration day. There are resources available for you on how to register for courses. And the most important thing for you to be doing is cross-referencing your academic calendar with the transfer credits you have received. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to Student Central as they take care of course registration. Abby, do we have any questions about course registration?
No questions yet, but I do have one question actually for you that I'm trying to craft a response. So it says, if you have classes in the summer semester and living in residence, do you have to move out between the end of summer and the beginning of fall semester? And no, if you are basically renting throughout the summer, and you're also continuing education into the fall. You don't have to move out. But can you speak a little bit, Taylor, about like students living in residence over the summer?
Yeah, so when you're living, sorry, Abby, I'm slowly losing my voice right now.
Okay.
When you're living in a residence over the summer, your residence assignment will be taken care of by your residence department. So they're going to be your point of contact for most of these questions. Living in residence over the summer is often something that students do in our summer transition programs. If you're in a summer transition program, you'll likely have a specific touch point contact for your residence experience, just because of the nuances of that program and the fact that you're then also starting with us in the fall.
Okay, and one more question actually about course registration. So can you comment on course registration for summer transfer programs such as engineering?
Amazing. That's a really good question. So for your summer transition programs like engineering, you are likely going to be given a pretty, it's a way to say it, a pretty clear bulk of courses that you need to register for. Our engineering department also handles the bulk of their own course registration. So if you're an engineering transfer student, you might be familiar with the fact that they handle their recruitment and admission. They're also going to be your point of contact for that course registration. So unlike most other students who would be reaching out to Student Central, you as an engineering student are going to be reaching out to the program coordinator from engineering to help with any of those course registration questions that might come up as you're starting to work through it.
Awesome. Thank you, Taylor.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. Please keep throwing those questions into the Q&A, and we will get to them as quick as possible, and we can also answer some live at the end of our formal programming tonight. So another way to kind of make money while on campus, let's be frank, and also gain experience is our work-study programs. So our work-study programs are really, really awesome. Because you have an employer who understands that you're a student and is going to work with your class schedule, as well as kind of put a cap on your hours to make sure that you are having lots of time to study. So a work-study program is an on-campus job, and they're typically 10 hours per week. And the job postings for them are going to begin in August on the Lakehead website. And examples of these are going to be things like tour guides, communication assistants, research assistants, and so many more. They're really, really great opportunity to build your skill set in a more of a formal environment than students often have the opportunity to with part-time jobs, as well as, again, as I mentioned, have that employer that really understands that you are a student and who can be flexible with your schedule. Fall and winter work-study programs are available, as well as summer work-study programs. Summer work-study programs are often 30 hours a week or more, so they're a more full-time position, which is really nice because oftentimes as students, we're not taking courses in the summer. And there's designated work-study positions that typically require an eligibility application, and it's typically about $2,000 per term. So if you are looking for a job, if you're looking for some added experience for your resume, please consider some of our work-study positions as they come available. Another very important thing is our transition programs. One of them is called Math Boot Camp. And the goal of this is, first off, it's completely optional, but the goal of this is to provide students with an opportunity to kind of refresh some mathematical skills in order to be ready for the first day of their program at Lakehead. So boot camp is it's free and it's an online course. And I always like to say to students who are coming from college that it's into a program with a math requirement. It's a really great idea to take the math boot camp just so you can feel confident and ready when you start in September. So at this point, we've covered everything up to August. That was a lot of information. So please don't feel overwhelmed. You're going to be getting lots of emails about it in the coming week. And you're going to be given step-by-steps as you work through it. So in August, you're going to have the work study applications open, the transition program, so that math boot camp we just talked about. You're now going to be able to check My Awards, which is that portal for current student scholarships. And some programs are going to have their field school begin. So field school for students in natural resource management or environmental studies will begin in August. If it's not already on your radar, I super recommend coming to orientation, because you'll get a sense of all things Lakehead, and it gives you a sense of where things are, who to talk to with what question, all of that good stuff. Engineering is also going to have a specific orientation for transfer students. And again, they'll be communicating the details out to you about that.
Question, Taylor. So someone asked, where do I apply for the math boot camp?
Yeah, so let me just flick back in slides because I think we went through that a little quickly. So math boot camp is going to be a registration thing, less of an application. So to register, you will go onto the Lakehead site. And Abby, I don't know if you have the link available already, but if so, if you could maybe find it and drop it in the chat. If not, it will be becoming available on the My Lakehead website shortly.
Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you. Okay, so orientation will be kind of that August to September sweet spot, leaning more into September. So this evening we have covered May, June, July, August, September. In September, you're going to be a official Lakehead student, and you'll be reaping the fruits of your labor when it came to registering for the courses, preparing through those transition programs, setting up your housing arrangements, and all of that good stuff. So you might be wondering what your next steps are now. As I mentioned, I think a little while ago, the most important thing for you to do in this moment right now is to pull out your calendar, and let's write down a few of these important dates. So June 5th is going to be, your timetable is going to be viewable. That's also going to be the deadline to apply to residents. So June 5th, deadline to apply to residents. August 15th is the deadline to pay the first installment of tuition fees. And September 1st is going to be residents move-in day. And September 6th is going to be the first day of classes. And note that field school might have already begun. And again, please refer to your offer of admissions for deadline dates associated with accepting your offer. It's really imperative you respond by the stated deadlines in your offer of admissions and give the material that's been requested of you to our admissions team by those dates so that we can secure your spot, which is super exciting because you are one step closer to being a Lakehead student. So if you haven't already, I totally recommend booking a campus tour. They're offered on both of our campuses. So both Thunder Bay and Aurelia offer campus tours. It's a great way to kind of sense out the campus before you're officially a student, maybe start kind of orienting yourself around the space. If you are unable to come to campus before orientation or before the first day of classes, please note that we also have virtual tours available on our website. And they're a really great opportunity to see the campus and get an understanding of where you're going without having to leave the comfort of your own home. Tours are available on our website. If you type in tours into the search engine at the top, you will be able to book an in-person one as well as view the virtual tours there as well too. If you still have questions after this evening, and oftentimes students do, because again, as I mentioned, I think at the beginning, for transfer students, there's often a lot of nuances to specific cases. If that is you, you can book a virtual meeting with our recruitment team. You can go ahead and scan that QR code there on the slide, and that will take you to our booking page. And you can book an hour session with any of our recruiters, like myself or someone else on our team, to talk about your unique situation and all of those details that you might be wondering about and want to get clarified before that September start. If you are a social person, or rather a social media person, please check us out online. We're on all major social medias. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and we're on as My Lakehead on most platforms. I will say, if you're curious about your program or what it's like to live on residence or anything like that, go ahead and check out our YouTube. We have really great in-depth videos about all things to do with Lakehead, and that can be a great resource to kind of learn some more things about your program or about the student experience, again, without having to leave the comfort of your own home. So I just want to say a big thank you for joining us this evening to learn more about what it means to be a Lakehead student. It was really great to get to do this with all of you. It's such an exciting time of year as we're preparing to make that big transition from a college or a university, or from being a mature student to coming to Lakehead and starting in the fall together. I see we might have some Q&A questions still going. Abby, are there any ones that we can answer now?
Yeah, sure. So there's one that says, what are the important dates for the summer transition students? So I don't know if you just want to go over that again briefly.
Yeah, so summer transition students, again, are going to be specific to the program that you're doing as a summer transition program. If you're a summer transition engineering student, you're going to touch base with the engineering department, and they're going to have all of that available to you. If you're doing the Honors Bachelor of Social Work 1-year program, that's also going to be being communicated with you through email. If you're the person who asked that question, would you mind just quickly clarifying for Abby what program you're coming into? I just want to make sure I covered your unique situation, if you're comfortable sharing that detail. If not, please reach out to me by email.
Okay, and there's one other question that says, what is the deadline to pay for summer transition courses such as engineering?
Abby, do you know that one off the top of your head?
I actually don't. For some reason, I want to say it's like May. It's in the first 2 weeks of May. So honestly, like the sooner the better. I'm trying to look for that information right now on our website under like tuition fees and payments. But yeah, I would say like if you can have it in before May 15th, that would probably be acceptable.
Well, awesome. So I think this is going to be the end of our formal programming tonight. Thank you again for joining us. Abby and I are going to keep the Q&A box open for another maybe 10 more minutes. So if you would like to go ahead and put your question in that, we'll type back to you an answer. And again, if you have additional questions from this evening, you can reach out to our recruitment team at recruit@lakeheadu.ca. And we really look forward to seeing you on campus very soon. For a lot of us, that will be in the fall. Some of us might even be before that, which is truly exciting. Best of luck to all of you, and congratulations, future Thunderwolves.
Congratulations, guys. Safe travel moving to either Thunder Bay or Aurelia. Good luck with all your semester and your courses. And we're really looking forward to seeing you this summer or this fall. Take care, guys.